man, they still haven't fixed that. So I don't think they've fixed the orientation lock yet. Sorry guys, I don't know how to fix this. I'm a dummy. If you can even hear me. So. And here comes our problem. Sorry everyone. Not that there's anyone in here yet, but if anybody watches this at a later date. Chat on. I don't know if that'll let us see the live chat or not. So, anyways. Yep, look. There we go. Ta-da! Yay! Look, guys, we're out of soda. And I put my butt in your face.
Sorry guys for the mess. We're not really ready. Especially me.
You look beautiful, though. Yeah. Introduce yourself.
That's it. It's 9:04.
Hopefully the sound is working. My phone's way over there, so I can't re-communicate with anybody. Can you hear us okay? I guess that's fine. It's still a little far away, but hey. So that feedback will go on here, and then they'll hear that. I really hate feedback. Not like feedback from a person, but feedback from a microphone, something like that. And basically, if anybody writes on here, you'll have to communicate with them. I doubt anybody will. So I doubt we'll actually have anybody show up and say hello. But just in case we do, hello everybody. My name's Robert. I am Beak. For those that are new, or anybody that are confused by the name of our channel or anything like that. This is my lovely wife, Kuting.
I'm Kuting.
Girl named Felisa.
I'm just Kuting. I love Hello Kitty.
We met through a friend, not technically online.
Yeah.
We have a mutual friend.
Mm-hmm. My former... No. What's that?
This sounds like one of those old TV shows. My brothers, formers, roommates, sisters,
Obviously.
boyfriends, cousins, husbands, brothers, wives, sisters, babysitters, nephews, cousin. Well, anyways, a friend of mine, her brother worked with Melissa. So, they introduced us.
Yeah.
Yay!
Vitamins.
Morphine. I am disabled, even though I may not look like it. I have major nerve issues with my body and constant pain. So we met online, started talking, chatting. She had always been in the Philippines. I never left America. And I wasn't really looking for a relationship, anything like that. Just looking for friends. And then we got introduced, kind of started talking and Then we did the whole LDR, long distance relationship thing, talking like we're dating, and never went on an actual date at that point.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah. And then just before COVID, I went ahead and came here to the Philippines for the first time, left the United States for the first time ever in my life.
See me?
Yep, came here for her birthday, visited her, stayed a whole 30 days, and that was long enough. We stayed in the same apartment. We are both old adults, so went ahead and made it official during that time that we were actually dating, and knew that we wanted to be together. So my whole plan was I was going to return back to America, situate my life because I didn't really have one to begin with, and come right back. Like most people, the world hit, COVID started, changed everything for everybody. So I came, got stuck in America, was living in a camper that I was gonna fix up, needed a lot of work, and parked it in my mother's front yard. Wired up an extension cable basically, pipeline to the house, and that was about it for water. Filled up my tank every week. And I did that for several years while I was waiting for the availability to come back here. And through a whole bunch of issues, relationship, blah, 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 you know, people fight, argue, this, that, we still stayed together and realized that we really cared about each other.
And that time I'm still working.
Yep. Well, up until COVID. She has always been, since school, a career woman.
Yeah.
She was raised to have a professional career. And we're not talking about on a pole. She worked in the call centers for a lot of major credit card companies.
Yeah. Water company.
Yeah. Spoke English a lot, you know, thankfully, because anybody I'm with has to speak English.
No, that's really because it's local. Most of our customers are...
We actually have somebody.
Hi!
Hey!
Hi,
Look, a
Claritas.
real person. Hi, Clarita.
Clarita.
Thanks for joining in. So, we just...
What up?
Okay, there, but I don't know. But during COVID, we decided that it was dangerous for her to go to work. And she'd already made a smart decision in her life and purchased our home. Thank you so much, Clarita. And
How can I do it?
we decided either she was going to have to get a different condo because she was staying with other family at the time. And she would have to work, be in the condo, and deal with all that. Or it was cheaper and easier for her to come here and start getting our house ready.
Fix.
And I would supplement what she was lacking. So, at that point, basically I became the caregiver. You know, the husband, the spouse, the breadwinner, whatever it is. You know. And she came here and started getting our house ready because I knew, you know, I wanted to live in the Philippines with her. America really wasn't a thing for us. If she went to America, I can't work because of my disability. She would have to get full-time jobs. Jobs, because most people in America have more than one, despite what everybody thinks. Not everybody in America is rich. And then she'd be working 30, 40, 50 hours.
Thank you.
And we would never see each other. Or we could stay here in the Philippines and survive okay on what I receive.
Will
So,
you ask them now if they can hear us?
you ask them, you got it.
Thank you.
So we decided we would live in the Philippines. We had this nice little house, which you guys have seen on the vlog, which is still in update mode.
But we cannot show it now because it's so messy, guys.
We can, she chooses not to.
No, please.
There's a difference between can, can't, and won't.
Because it's so
But
messy.
it's
Right
a
now.
small little house. It's just cluttered. It's not messy. We're in the process of redoing a few things, which will come up on the vlog later. And basically, after COVID, I was going to come here. Now, at first, we knew we were going to get married. We knew we loved each other. We wanted to spend our life together. And before COVID really started opening up, the only way I was going to be able to come back here, home, would be if I was already married to her and filed for a spouse visa. So we got married. We got married online. We did it pretty much ourselves. We didn't hire no major company. Didn't pay no $5,000 like I've seen some people do. We had a nice personal ceremony, which is on our vlog, kind of.
Our first
You
video.
know, with my mother was there, you know, and her husband and one of my best friends, and then her sisters were there. And then, well, thank you for being a subscriber, Clarita.
Here is the...
Now, at the process, after we got married, I was filing for the visa, and during that time, they said, doors are open, limited time, so we jumped on it. I got rid of pretty much everything I owned, came here with 5 suitcases. Everything in my life for the last 40 years got whittled down to 5 suitcases. And probably one of those was gifts for her and stuff like that.
And our stuff for the kitchen.
Yeah, supplies that I wanted, that I thought I needed here. Like my KitchenAid, my Ninja. What else did I bring?
The cookware.
Yeah, my pots and pans that I absolutely love from America. Those are things that I thought I needed that were hard to find here. Food's not an issue here. I brought a good amount of medicine. Obviously wasn't enough, but that's a whole nother big topic because medication can be really hard to get here. But as soon as the doors opened, I was here. I sold everything that I was able to sell to get the money to come here because being here wasn't the issue. We can survive where we were. Our house payment's not very much, and we don't require a lot. We're not very high maintenance people. We don't go out and party. We don't drink a lot. We just have a standard, comfortable living here at the house. So, basically came home, and I've been filing visa extensions ever since because we're waiting on some additional paperwork in order for me to be able to file a complete spouse visa here in the Philippines. Because in the Philippines, not everybody had their birth certificates registered when they were born.
And that's my problem now.
Yeah, which leads to errors later of information not correct on them. And things are hard to change just in a country like America, getting paperwork corrected with the government. It's a little more difficult here too, especially when you don't live in the place where you were born anymore. Because she was actually born on a whole different island than where we currently live.
But before we got married, I have passport now. Because I had birth certificate before.
She has traveled to other countries.
Before the pandemic.
Prior to this, yeah. I really wish I had, like, my computer hooked up or your computer turned on so I could make another member, another viewer, because now you're the only one. You're the person who need to add another viewer, but I can't do it.
I don't think the sounds, the voice, or...
Well, why don't you go upstairs, turn on the TV, and see if you can hear them? And I'll just keep talking. Anyways, where was I?
But our life.
Yeah, but I'm saying. Been filing for the visas ever since, doing extension. When you're in the Philippines, you get a 29-day automatic visa if you're from certain countries. After that, you can file for 30, 60, or 90 days. Huh?
Yeah, it's clear in my phone.
Right. Just go ahead and turn the TV on upstairs so it's another viewer. Put it on the personal account, mine. Trying to cheat the system. But you can get your extensions. Now I've heard, and I can't verify this, that right now, as soon as you come into the Philippines, they're allowing you to automatically, while you're at the airport, don't leave the airport, but while you're there, to advance file for a 6-month extension. So that you can stay 6 months right off the bat without having to get any more extensions. So if anybody's coming here and they know they want to stay more than 30 days, if that's possible, do it. Trust me. Because some areas it's easy, some areas it's not. Some areas allow you to do 30 days, some areas allow you to do 6 months. Each place is different, and it's not all the same rules, even though it's the same country. Now, the other thing that I want to tell any foreigner is bring your medication, especially if you have any type of pain management, because getting any type of pain management pills here is very difficult. They're even harder than a lot of the states. There are only certain doctors that are able to prescribe them. Not the biggest issue, because if you have valid reasons, they're happy to help you, happy to prescribe you your medication. The downside is there's a shortage of medication in the Philippines. A huge shortage. Again! Goofy's upstairs. She'll be down in a second. Now, even though you have your prescription in the Philippines, that doesn't mean you're getting medicine, even if you have the money to pay for it. And some prescriptions are highly expensive. I have one pain patch, which is 1,400 pesos for 1 week. That is, what is that? That is 14, that's $28 for 7 days. But we looked on 2 different islands and cannot find it. We've even looked at some of the stores, in the big city area. Can't find the patch, it's just not available. And then we've looked for my simple morphine's not available everywhere. Even, Xanax, not available everywhere. So if you have medication that you have to have, bring as much as you can. And then think about the things that you need to survive your life when you come here. Now, in the Philippines, it is not as hard to get many custom things you're used to. You can easily get meats, foods, cheeses, stuff like that if you live in a big city. Manila, Cavite, Tacloban. There's larger cities that have everything you need. There are versions of Walmart here. You've got the mall stores, SM, Robinsons, Pure Gold. They've got groceries. The hard part is when you want to live in the countryside or province or up in the hills where it's nice and beautiful, and there are none of those stores. Now, it's not a huge land, so you could still drive there in an hour or two if you have a vehicle. Which, we only go to the store once a month anyways. So, for us, it's not an issue.
I'm sorry, I cannot open. What's wrong, ba? It's either your name or our...
So, Kuting hasn't figured out how to work the TV upstairs. So let me go do that real quick, folks. You come say hello to your sister and people.
I'm sorry.
Hurry up, stop now. I get bored. All 2 people.
Hi, Ken. How are you? I miss you. We miss you. People, where are you? Please watch us and support us. Okay, guys, this is our sofa bed, our sala, sometimes, most of the time, it's our dining area. We eat a lot most of the time here. So that's why I always change the bed sheet because it's, it's easy to get dirt because of our food, and sweat, especially biik. Masyado siyang pawisin. Did you on the TV?
I'm working on it.
What happened? I pressed wrong.
Yeah, you pressed a whole bunch of things.
Because guys, we're using PS4 to watch TV upstairs. So, medyo naguguluhan ako sa mga, namin, sa mga appliances namin. Ay, hindi ko ma-open. So, everything is, si B8 ang gumagawa ng aming everything sa kuryente, sa gadgets, lahat yan siyang gumagawa. So, wala akong kaproblema. Ay, nako. Oh, no. So, kamusta po? Huh?
Something. Turn the phone.
Okay. It's clear? You can hear me now?
Yeah, wait for it out.
You go down na. Okay, I press.
That reminds me. Nobody didn't give a thumbs up. Yeah, she did it. But anyways, medication's important. If you need medicine, make sure you bring it. If you've got a family member back from where you're from, maybe have them send it to you every couple of months if you can get it auto-renewed. Nexium is something that I have to have.
Every day.
And I need this. I need this one little pill every single day.
And it's very pricey here.
And it's,
Very expensive. One pill.
one pill is about 150 pesos, $3.
Yeah.
So if you can get it on a plane in America, it's not a narcotic. So your family can ship that to you, or a friend, or something like that. And you could have your 3 months or 1 year supply through your doctor prescribed, and they send it to you. That would be a better way, trust me. Because, they can send a small box with USPS from most places in America. I don't know about other countries, so I'm sorry. For about $120, $130. Just a small box, I don't know, about the size of a VCR, if anybody knows what that is. And they could put medicine in, they could put a few candies that you like, or different things
Like
that
this,
you
huh?
miss from home. Yeah, find us a box that size.
Like this.
Yeah, about the size of 12 things of macaroni and cheese.
Like that.
It's about this. It's about $120 from America, from a non-big city. And that's just with USPS. Now, it takes it about 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get here. But it's easier because then you can get more things, few things smaller, added into it that you might want back from home. And it's still cheaper than like my 1 month of Nexium. So you can get family to send it that way if possible with your non-narcotics. And different places have different rules about narcotics on what you can mail. Some things are still allowed. As long as it's yours, has a prescription. I'm not a lawyer, so none of anything I say can be counted against me. But it's really important if you need that stuff to live, guys. Don't go jumping off to another country without thinking about your life. If you can't afford to live in that country, if you don't have money to survive the next couple of months or further, don't just jump to that country. We've seen story after story of expats or foreigners come here with their savings, either in love or fall in love or single, whatever it be, blow through their money and then not even have enough to get home. Or to what they no longer have as a home, because they sold everything or lost everything, whatever they did before they came here. You need to make sure that you can survive while doing absolutely nothing in any country you're going to. And I mean, we're not talking about people that have guaranteed jobs or anything like that, that they pay to move you for stuff like that. But you must have an income. Now, in certain countries, you can still receive your disability or Social Security, you know, your pension funds, stuff like that. We're not talking about that. We're talking if you only have a savings and you're retired and you don't get a monthly paycheck, don't just jump to another country. That's not a good idea. It's not. Because most people end up blowing their money or giving their money away trying to find love or find companionship or that need to belong. And that's just not what you do. It will get you in trouble so fast. It'll get you homeless. And then your, you know, ticket home is $1,200 to $1,000 and you ain't coming up with that money and maybe you don't know anybody that can. And definitely your country is probably not going to help you get it. So don't go to a country if you can't survive afterwards. That's, you know, one of the biggest things that we see happen here, you know, that just could be avoided if people would use common sense. You know, don't be afraid to look for that companion if that's what you want. Don't be afraid to fall in love no matter your age or position in life, anything like that. I mean,
just be careful now with your money and stuff, something like that.
Extremely careful with your money.
Just be safe.
And it's not always the person that you're with that's the issue. It could be a family member. It could be a stranger that's trying to cause issues. Because a lot of people here don't guarantee that they're not married. A lot of people here will lie about whether they're married or not, or say that they're separated and it's okay with their spouse, because there's no real divorce in the Philippines if you're married in the Philippines. So people will separate here and both parties can have, well, it's considered normal for both parties to move on with their life and gather new partners. Even though they're considered a highly Catholic religion, still dumbfounds me. That I guess adultery is better than divorce. Anyways, but people will say that they're single. They'll say that they're not married. Get proof. Before you live with somebody, get proof. Because even though they might be okay, their spouse or ex-spouse might be okay. Joe Schmo down the street can try to cause blackmail and say that they'll have you both arrested if you don't give them money. Now that's extremely rare, but possible situation. Avoid it. Trust me, people. The other thing is transportation. Don't just assume you're going to come here, you're going to buy a car, and you're going to drive, and you're going to do this, and you're going to run here, you're going to run there. Because owning a vehicle is not easy in the Philippines.
And the parking.
Yeah. Parking's almost non-existent, too. Even if you have a small scooter. A lot of vehicles here are tagged on a rest day basis, where the vehicle cannot operate outside of a zone or on certain days. So you have to know what license plate you have. You know, depends on when you buy it. Also, if a car has not been registered for a little while, it can take years to re-register it, if it can ever be re-registered. So never buy a car or lease a car, rent a car that hasn't got registration. They say, oh, we'll get it for you, you know, or oh, you can get it registered, no problem. It better already be registered, because registrations are transferred here. They're not reissued or started back up. You assume the other person's registration.
Everything here is taking so long to get permit, to get
Yes, paperwork
paperwork.
can be highly difficult, with the exception of visas. You know, your tourist visa is extremely easy. You go there, you show them your paperwork, you pay them your little bit of funds, and we have been out in like an hour almost
Yeah.
every single time. You know, it's one of the most simplest government things I have ever seen.
Uh-huh.
And it's not extremely expensive either. If you look back at our blog, we have several times that we've discussed it and shown the prices and everything on renewals and extensions and stuff like that. So that covers that scenario, you know, about governments. Vehicles, even scooters, you know, if they are not registered for a year, they're almost waste here. Because it's so hard to get a vehicle re-registered that people will not buy them. The value on anything that's not registered is no longer there. Wonder why it says we only have the one viewer. No,
I've
3.
seen it.
So,
Huh.
ratios are a little off. But thank you to those viewers that are here.
Ay, it's 5 na.
Woohoo! New person. This
Listening
far.
ko sa thumbs up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thumbs
We're-
up. Thumbs
We really want to become monetized. We really want to try to get
Yeah.
to that 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours, and we're really on our way.
up.
And we've got a couple plans in the future we think we might be doing to help out some other people and do a few things.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of projects of our own that we're working on. We have our house here that we're updating, and we have plans of a second house somewhere, you know, near some family that we love and we're happy to be around.
And you have some projects there soon.
Yeah,
Maybe tomorrow.
yeah, we've got to fix a few things in this house. We're updating it. We just added an air conditioner upstairs, which is a whole other topic for people. The heat. You know, it's a different heat than other places. And the thing is, it's an everyday heat. Here, it's hot.
Especially for you.
You know, it's bad, but I'll be honest, Arkansas gets worse. The difference is the heat is every day here. The other thing is we live in a subdivision where it's hundreds of little concrete townhouses on a concrete road. So you've got all this heat bouncing back and forth between building and building and building and building. And then most houses here use a tin roof with no insulation and no proper venting. So the heat compounds upstairs for us. Our upstairs gets like an oven. I mean, I could probably bake bread upstairs.
Because
if I
we're
just set
living
it out.
in, not really, outside Metro Manila.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're near Manila, but still.
Yeah, we are in between the country and a city. We're only a mile probably from the ocean, but because of the way our houses are positioned, you're not going to get an ocean breeze. Unfortunately, right now we're not in the hills, like where her family is from, where they get that beautiful mountain air. Now, there are regions in the Philippines where it's a whole lot cooler, and people even have to wear jackets. Now, of course, those people are from the Philippines, so that's why they're wearing a jacket. Most people here have not seen snow. A few have seen hail. The only ice comes out of a freezer. But it is hot here. But it's not, to me, it's not the heat that gets you so much. It's the sun. Because we're so close to the equator, the sun is brutal here. So the sun cooks all the buildings. The sun makes the cars hot. The sun makes you really hot outside. And that's why Filipinos are so good at finding shade. There's a common joke here that if there's shade to be found, there'll be a Filipino in it. Because they have this like little ninja effect of where they hop from shade spot to shade spot, avoiding the sun. And they're great at it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the sun is brutal here. It will
And we love
cook
umbrella.
you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one loves collecting umbrellas.
Umbrella's life here.
And then expect to see rice at almost every meal.
Yes. 3 times a day or more than.
But I mean, if you're a person that depends on Western foods, you can get it here. Honestly, I mean, we can order where we are.
From
Like I
SNR.
said, we're not in the country. We're not in the province.
But we have deliveries.
We can order McDonald's delivered to the house. I mean, today we had Jollibee, which, you know, not everybody knows what it is, but it's like KFC, you know, with a hint of Popeyes. But you can order delivery in most places. There's Pizza Hut. There's Taco Bell in the main cities. There's Subway.
Everything.
When we went to the Grand Canal,
Mm-hmm.
they have TGI Fridays. They have Burger King. They have Denny's.
Almost everything.
You know, if there's a restaurant, it's probably here. Otherwise, it's not a very big, popular restaurant. Unless you're talking about, like, In-N-Out, which is very region-specific. You know, you're not going to find that here. You will find a lot of what they call, what is it, canaderias?
Carinderia.
Ganaderia. Sorry for massacring the language, guys.
Carinderia.
Which is basically people selling food out of their house.
50 pesos.
Everybody tries to be their own boss here, where, and it's a scenario I stay all the time, a person is sometimes happy if they're selling one bottle of beer. I don't mean one kind, I mean one actual bottle. They have one bottle of beer on their shelf, and they don't buy another one until that one sells. And they just sit around and wait for it to sell, so they can sell the next one. A lot of people used to live off buying food daily. And I don't mind buying your meal daily. I mean buying your ingredients to the point where they would buy just 20 pieces of peppercorn.
It's a sari-sari store.
And they still do it here for some of those that need it, that don't get money enough to buy a week's food or a month's food. You know, they only can buy their food daily if they eat that day. They may not have nothing but plain rice.
It depends on the income of your family.
Yeah, I mean, there's, just like any country, there is from rich to poor. It's the world. That's how it goes, unfortunately. You'll see it everywhere. It's no different. You're not going to walk around seeing thousands of homeless people here. I see more homeless people in Memphis, Tennessee than I see here. You'll still see the occasional beggar. It's not as dangerous as like Mexico is, you know, as far as, you know, worried about being mugged or anything like that. Especially if you're a foreigner, I think, because when you're a foreigner, already all eyes are on you. So a lot of thieves don't try. It's the con artists that you have to watch out for. The overchargers or white tax. You know, where they're going to charge you more because you're a foreigner. Now, for me...
Because they thought you have a lot of money. You have money.
Yeah, most people think all foreigners are rich. Just because when a foreigner comes here, they spend like they're rich. Because when a foreigner comes here, they come here with a savings or a vacation, and then all of a sudden their money's worth 5 times the amount. So they act like they have 5 times the amount of money for 2 weeks to a month. And that's what Filipinos see. So most of them think that's the normal. They think that's how they live back in America. Meanwhile, they don't know that that same person in America is skipping a meal because they can't pay electricity or make their car payment or pay their house. Have their power cut off, their car insurance. Because if you don't have car insurance in America, you can go to jail. That's that ridiculous for Filipinos that are watching.
But nowadays, Filipino are smart enough na that not really all the foreigners that coming here to the Philippines that they have money or they are rich, you know.
Right. Most of your city people know that, and a lot of people who, because most people here don't own a TV. They don't pay cable. Your average person subscribes to YouTube. YouTube and social media is used more in the Philippines than anywhere else. The Philippines has the #1 social media viewage in the world, is what I read.
Yeah,
That they use more social media here than anywhere else.
exactly.
And it's not for scamming like some other countries. Now, you'll still find them. But the normal thing you occur here is the upcharge because you're a foreigner. They think you have much more money, so they charge you. You want to buy a shirt, a Filipino might pay 50 pesos for, they'll probably try to charge you 100, which is double, but you're still looking at like $2 only. You know? Some things I'm fine. I'm happy to pay that little extra charge because my money does convert. And even though I don't have very much because we live off disability, and American disability does not pay you very much at all, it's pretty much based on how much you earned throughout your life. Now, even though I'm younger, I was lucky that I've been working since I was a teenager. And I've been working big jobs since I was a teenager. I earned a lot of money. I always had more than one job. I usually carried 3 jobs at a time, or 2 was the average. Even when I was a manager at McDonald's, I was still waiting tables. Any chance I had to make extra money. As well as a few other side hustles, selling things here and there, doing this business, doing this kind of repair, doing car work. All while I was still making, management money. Which here, manager at McDonald's makes a good amount of money. They don't need any other job. They can support a family of 5 or 6 on it. Whereas in America, that wasn't even enough to support myself, really.
Because
But that was also because I was living on American standards. Had to have that good apartment. Had to have that car. Had to have all those bills. And that's the way you lived in America, was basically on credit. So you always owed money. Here, credit's not even accepted everywhere. So you live off cash. I mean, cash is king in the Philippines. So, you learn to live differently here. If you can live a more subtle, easygoing life, you can survive a lot better in the Philippines. And that's just as far as living. As far as romance, companionship, they view people differently here. It is not based on finding the hottest guy in the Philippines. And in my opinion, it is based on the most stable life. Not rich or what, having to have as much gold. Not that have to have jewelry. There's always those kind of people out there, male, female, whatever. But the average woman just looks for stability.
Like food,
And it's not even just financial stability, it's character stability. They don't want to have to worry about you being drunk and gone all night. They don't have to worry about if you're going to come home and beat them or hit them or cheat on them. They want somebody they can depend on. And in general, that's made more of a difference to most people than looks. You'll find that most people here that you would think, okay, she just wants his money, when he doesn't have any money. They don't care. It's more about if he can make her happy. She cares more about that than the 6-pack. They are not as, what's the word? Not really petty, but they're not...
macho?
No, it's like superficial. The people here are not as superficial that they have to have that handsome husband. They don't have to have that rich husband. They want that dependable person. Obviously, my wife is beautiful. Why she picked me, despite she's old in Filipino standards. In America, you wouldn't see me being able to get a date anywhere. balding, disabled. Obviously, got my own issues, lots of them. She puts up with all of them for me. And of course, nobody's perfect. She's not perfect. I'm not perfect. But our marriage is very happy. Voice cracking because we're talking too much. Not because we're not happy.
Yeah.
But most Filipinos are looking for that. They want stability, emotional and physical stability. And I mean, women here really do outnumber men. And then you have, a large mass of men here are not straight either. So that even changes the gene pool even more as far as, a woman finding a man. So those men do have better odds here than in some other countries. But that's not a reason to jump to another country. If you found somebody you care about, then consider it. But don't just go to a country just because you're trying to find that woman, because you may not be happy there. You need to go and visit the country before you even think about, being with the woman. Because it's not the same here. Life is different everywhere. Just like life is different from New York and Arkansas. Life is different from Texas and California. Life is different from Canada and America. Europe and America, all these different places, they're different. So why would people not think that the Philippines is different?
Because the life here is what do you call that, the money, the equivalent of their money is different. It's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
The cost of living here is cheaper. So.
Yeah. If you've got money from abroad, then your lifestyle will probably be better here because most things are cheaper for converted money to own. It's not cheaper for a Filipino. Those things are still highly expensive for a Filipino to own on Filipino income. So, the food we have, the TVs we have, stuff like that, that's expensive for a Filipino, even though to me it was a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because my money's coming from another conversion.
Yeah.
So, these vacations they see everybody take, it's the conversion that helps them. But even with that conversion, that doesn't mean you're going to be happy. That doesn't mean you can survive. I mean, you've got different issues you have to deal with here. Of karaoke, or they call it video-oke.
Yes.
People that are highly inconsiderate.
That's our number one problem
blasting
here.
music, all hours of the night and day, way beyond any level that should be done by a rock concert, much less somebody's house. I mean, I've gone to an Ozzy concert that was quieter than some of these homes. I'm serious. When I went to Ozzy, it was quieter. I've been to concerts that are not as loud as some of these people, and it's not like other countries where the only people who sing can sing. Here, the worse the person sings, the louder they turn it up. I don't know why, I don't get it. I understand people love to sing here. But why they love to scream into a microphone when they're tone deaf, I don't get.
Especially when they're drunk. That's the problem. When they're drunk, the more
I
they
almost
scream.
forgive somebody more when they're drunk, because when you're drunk, you're stupid. It's when you're sober and you're doing it all day and night, that's even worse, because then you sound like crap. But yeah, you got...
But we have a rule here that it's until 10 o'clock we should stop with the music. Especially, like this area.
Our subdivision has agreed upon
Not only our
10
subdivision.
p.m. Our city actually has a noise ordinance, which nobody follows, really, because the noise ordinance is sound should not be heard 25 feet from your house. And that's from our city. All these karaoke's are above that volume level.
The city ordinance.
But the city ordinance is at any time, not just between certain hours. And then the city ordinance is, some stuff until then can be done until 10 o'clock. Because they understand the culture. People still like to do videoke, stuff like that. But it should be done at a reasonable level. The other biggest but the other biggest issue here is going to be livestock.
Yeah.
And animals, I guess.
Dogs.
Dogs.
Roosters.
Cats. Roosters. Some places, even goats, cows, don't care about. Actually, I realize it's actually kind of quiet.
Yeah.
A lot quieter than American cows.
Yeah. Quiet.
Pigs, that's a big one, because pork is big here. So, if you're around pigs, they're loud and annoying. But there's certain places where you're not supposed to be able to have this.
Yeah.
So, even that's something you can go around. If you have the money, then you can live in a place where they don't allow roosters and goats and chickens and pigs.
And stray dogs.
You'll find that in some of the bigger cities, the more expensive cities. Some subdivisions, when you buy a home, state no fowl. Unfortunately, most contracts here are in English. I don't understand that either. English is a foreign language here. So I don't know why you would put contracts and legal and government things in a language your own people can't read. I think that's a little dishonest. So you'll get to a place where either people can't read the contract, didn't read the contract, like my wife, that
I just signed
will
it.
state what you can and cannot have. Because our place literally states no foul in the purchase agreement. That's black and white, right in the pages. When they buy these houses, it states it on there, and you won't rent it to anybody that'll have it. But I tell you what, they keep me up every night and morning. They're scattered throughout here.
But honestly, we're not really what we call that nag-iinarte. We're not really like that, We just want to live quiet,
Yeah, one of the reasons she bought this house, and she did an amazing investment, my wife, I tell you, she really did a great deal well before I knew her. She bought this house pre-construction. Now, it's not her fault it was built poorly. She never could have known that, even if she knew about construction. Because they build these things without anybody even watching and knowing. Irregardless, she got a great deal. She got a nice buy-in, and in the Philippines, the government will actually give home loans to those who are working.
Yes, and I'm qualified for it.
Right. If you work long enough, you make enough money, you qualify for a government loan for a house. And we're not talking like an American Section 8 poor loan. We're talking about a decent loan. She bought a house that is pretty expensive for most Filipinos to ever own. And she got a great rate. She got a great pre-construction rate, which guaranteed her a nice low percentage, APR, guaranteed her a low monthly mortgage rate, which is why we live a little bit better than some other people do also. Because honestly, I'll just say, our housing mortgage is 5,000 pesos. That's $100 US, basically. That's our mortgage for a month on our nice little town home. Now, these are all pretty much built about the same. It's not her fault that the developers cut a lot of corners and didn't do things that most countries think are necessary, like footers, or using proper block that won't crumble.
And then the electrical wirings.
Yeah, not grounding a home. But then again, grounding is not normal in the Philippines. So that's something you gotta look out for also. They use 240 volts here and just pump all that power right through the lines so that they can get it as far as possible. So no homes are grounded, and our house is on the too hot system. There's no neutral line. It's just two hot wires running all the way around and wired to this and that and this and that. And watching the videos, you'll see some of the terrible stuff that's been done here. And this is an expensive housing community. they say here that anything that has a gatehouse is an expensive neighborhood. Well, we have a gatehouse. And we have gate guards. So, deal with an idea. And your average person would have to be a business professional, usually to live here. This is your higher class management business personnel would buy this type of price home. We're not going to say exactly what our price is because that's a little personal.
Mm-hmm.
But the homes sell for more than most Filipinos could ever afford. Now, of course, that's changing happily. I'm glad to see more Filipinos are doing better and better. And I think, foreigners could do more to help that out by not taking advantage. And also, like I try to do, let's check this, make sure everything's okay. Because it says something went wrong. Okay, it was just the comments. That's all that went wrong, supposedly. But I think one of the biggest problems is Filipinos taking advantage of Filipinos. In our past episodes, you'll look at, we were helping her family and we were updating their house. Mm-hmm. And there's a construction supply company there, hardware store, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, hardware store.
That is severely taking advantage of their people. Selling really crappy product, overpriced product, not telling their customers about it, and then just making their customers deal with it, which one causes their customers to spend more. And that's an area where those people don't have a lot of money. They don't have the abundance that a city person might to buy all the extra hollow block because 20% of them are going to break. They don't have the extra money to stick into more cement. They don't have the money to stick into gravel that's not gravel, it's all sand. So that's when you see somebody's taking advantage of their own people. Because it's not like they knew, oh, it's a foreigner, let's give him this and charge him more. We did the smarter thing and allowed the Filipinas of the family to go up there and purchase everything without them even knowing I was around. So that we didn't get white tax. Luckily, her sister dealt with all of that, did a great job. But they still got screwed, frankly. They still gave them poor concrete, gave them poor sand, poor gravel, even poorer hollow blocks. It was just terrible material, and when you complained about it, they said, basically their whole answer always is, that's how it is here. When it's not. It's just how they were doing business. Because you can go down the road or somewhere else and find better stuff. We found out from her brother that, you can order better hollow block from somewhere else. Unfortunately, we were on a time limit.
Yeah.
We didn't have time to wait at that point for proper hollow block to be built. So we had to deal with what we had to deal with. Thankfully, her family was hard workers and we got it all done. Make sure you go look at that. We built them a beautiful dirty kitchen to help with, the beautiful food that the family makes.
So you can watch the video.
Yeah, it's
all there.
10 episodes, but
It's 10 by.
yeah, there's 10 whole episodes. Or just skip to the last one and look at the beautiful kitchen.
Yes. The fidelity.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my sister's still working on it.
Or watch them all and watch the handsome Filipinos work. The gorgeous Filipinas. I mean, all of the sisters are beautiful women. They work really hard. They're not all old. She does have 2 other sisters that are single. She's got 1 brother that's single. Mm-hmm. We've got a friend, Max, who's single. Really buff, nice, built man. If there's single women out there looking for that type of guy. Works really hard. But he likes his country lifestyle. So you better be willing to move there for him. But he's a good man. But I mean, you'll find that in a lot of places. You'll find a lot of great people here. Even though there's a lot of inconsiderate ones, you know, like we deal with, or if you watch the
But
video, I was talking about
still-
somebody was singing 2 days straight, really, really bad in the province.
But here, guys, we try to talk to our neighbors nicely when, you know, when the music is too loud or it's,
Yeah. We do have some pretty good neighbors in our neighborhood.
yeah.
It's just, things have to change. Change takes time. People, even myself, have to readjust the way you live to the way today is. Society's changed everywhere for everyone. You know, 10 years ago, everybody wasn't working from home.
Yeah.
You could have karaoke blasting in the middle of the day. It wasn't a big deal.
And there's
You
no
know?
issue before even until the morning you sing.
Yeah, I mean, it was different day, but things have to change.
Yes.
We all have to realize society changes, times change. You just have to keep the good, empower the good changes, and fight for the strong customs that truly matter.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta fight for your rights. Every Filipino deserves quality living standards.
And respect.
Yes, and respect. And
Yeah.
I feel for so many people when I live here, not live here, but when I go around here, because I see how they're treated by their fellow man. And then there's things I see where people just give up and they just quit. They don't care. And it just hurts me. Because, I mean, I come from an area where they try to take care of the land. Especially Arkansas, there's a reason why we call it the natural state. It really tries to stay clean. I'm from a country place where, you know, there's trash, you pick it up.
Really?
Litter is a huge problem here. And it's not the tourists that are doing it.
Yeah. That's the sad.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing.
We literally watch really, really popular YouTubers, you know, on here going around. And if you look around, one really famous one, and in the background you watch Filipinos just throwing trash. You know, soda bottles right on the side of the road and everything else. And you go to one of these beautiful, beautiful waterfalls, which I've not been to yet. For some reason, somebody keeps me locked in the house. And you see nothing but piles of trash around. You know, you would think that they would want the tourist money, that they would want the beautiful neighborhood, that they would respect the land, because so many people are native here. And by that, I mean they were born here, their ancestors were born here. But they don't take care of the land like they were. And it's really saddening, because this is a beautiful country. And I hate to really see it go bad like some other places to the west of it.
Full of trash.
Not only that, but I mean, there's countries to your west that have ruined all the coral because of trash and overfishing and fishing ways, where all the coral's dead now along their reef shores. So now all the fish are gone, you know. So now they have no food, and half their country is starving because they didn't take care of the coral. When the coral here is really beautiful and healthy, but there's not much monitoring on fishing habits, you know, or anything like that. Alright. But we're just going to keep talking and talking until I don't want to, or she makes me quit. Because honestly, guys, we really, really want to get monetized. We need those hours. I know we already have 2,500 of the 4,000. We have, what is it, 763 subscribers at the moment of the 1,000 we need. And we're actually thinking about doing a promotion. Maybe if we get monetized, this is something we were throwing around today, maybe for our subscribers we would actually do a giveaway, you know, for our subscribers who make comments and stay subscribed, enter them into a giveaway for Christmas.
Hopefully.
So we're working at that. I'm going to check a few things, make sure we can do it all legally, and see if we can't help somebody at the same time and do a giveaway and maybe help our numbers. We have a lot of things we feel strongly about. We have a lot of ways that we want to help, but we are funding short. So if we get monetized, we can help more people do things like that. One big thing's, Brickhead. That's the one who does all that nice, really cool animation with the Legos.
Okay.
Remember? I've shown the wife. She actually likes it too.
Yeah.
We enjoy his videos. He does great little stop animation with Legos.
Actually, we tried our best also to reply all your comments, and everything.
We try to keep up with our people and make comments to them and everything like that. But I'm really looking at possibly doing some kind of giveaway to help people out for Christmas time. So we're going to try to do that for our subscribers and things like that. But mainly, we've got a lot of work to do on this house. Like I said, we want to build a second house out in the province. I actually like it more out there. While we were
will do farming
in Samar, well, I actually have lived around farms most of my life. I've lived in the country. We had little baby vegetable gardens when I was a kid. My family's always had vegetable gardens. We used to raise ducks when I was younger. So I won't ever do chickens or roosters because they're loud and annoying. I won't do pigs. Ducks are kind of quiet. I really think what I would do is a baby fish pond of edible fish. I'd like to do that. I like to be self-reliant. I'm one of those who always worries about the what-if scenarios. Economic collapse or anything like that. If any of that happens, what can we do? I want to be on my own power grid. I want to be on my own water supply. I want to try to have my own food sources. That's stuff we can't do here in the city. But we will try to do out in the province. It's just finding property, finding land to be able to do so in the province.
We will build the bahay kubo. The bahay kubo, the small house, or not, like the nipa house, something like that.
I don't know if we'll do a nipa house or not. That's like a straw house. That's like for the chickens. But we do have plans that I've drawn up, very, very cartoony plans, where we can do a nice little 2-story house, almost like this one.
Or smaller than
Yeah,
this.
a little cement house, because we don't need much. It's just the two of us. As much as, if children
don't
come,
like big
children
house.
come. If they don't,
We don't like big house.
we're okay. We don't like to clean. Big houses mean lots of cleaning. So the smaller the house, the less you clean, the easier it is to take care of. So we do want a small house. We need a little living room, an okay kitchen, because I love to cook. She wants to learn how to cook, because she only knows how to do like 3 things. Most of it is stuff I don't eat. So we need a kitchen, we need a bathroom, we need a bedroom, and a living room.
And
Otherwise, we like to be outside. We like to visit family. If we can be close enough without hearing our family sneeze, we'll be happy. I'd rather not be in my house and hear them sneeze in their house. But we really would like to have a nice little spot. And that means building another home. And of course, that would go on here. We do have some updates. And of course, that type of thing is easier and better to do in the province, especially in Samar, where the weather's quite a bit cooler. I do like the area there better. The only thing is you have to give up your delivery. So no more Krispy Kreme and Jollibee
the
and
food.
Greenwich.
But the other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, life is always about compromise. In any scenario. You know, how hard do you want to work to have so much money? It's a compromise. You know, what can you live with? What can you live without? That's your compromise. What do you like in a partner? What do you not like in a partner? You know, what can you compromise on? You know, I absolutely, without a doubt, hate coffee and swore that my, you know, future partners wouldn't be coffee drinkers. She likes coffee.
Once a cup. Once,
At
One.
least one cup
one
a day
cup a day.
of instant coffee. So that's a little bit better. At least it's not
I'm not,
brewed, stinky
I'm
coffee.
not
Too
really
bad.
addicted to
Yeah, you are. But anyways, it's still only about one cup. And the other thing is usually she's drinking her coffee while I'm still in bed. So that helps. She's up watering her little fake garden outside. All the little weeds and the nice flowers from our neighbors.
So
But-
it's time to...
And that's nice.
So, we will do it again.
Well, what else do I have on here? So we want to go back to Samar. We go back there, build us a place. We've got plans of what will happen to this house. Thoughts and ideas. We'll see what happens there. But we still have to fix it up some. Even right now, you know.
Yeah.
We have actually now built a better kitchen for our in-laws
Done.
than we have.
Yeah. We have still an open kitchen.
It's more than an open kitchen. It's a dirt floor with an open roof,
So it's a...
a
That's
moss-covered wall.
It's the really dirty kitchen.
Yes, that is a definite dirty kitchen.
Very dirty.
We have
There's-
our induction inside here on a little shelf. And that's how she cooks and I cook, is on one induction pot. Or I love my Ninja Foodie, which is a multi-cooker. Look them up, get some type of instant pot. I guarantee you'll love it. It's electronic pressure cooker, stuff like that. I make bread in it.
I know, we save a lot of oil. We're
Yeah.
using the...
It's also an air
Yeah.
fryer,
Yeah.
so we do
We don't
that.
really use oil.
It's our grill for most of the things. We have our rice cooker that makes things even. We got a baby microwave.
Because we bought 2 packs of oil since February or March.
Wow, really?
Yeah, we still have.
So there we go. We don't use a lot of oil.
We still have the other pack.
We go through a lot of rice though.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but hopefully you guys will come around, watch. Anybody watching this after the fact, even after we end the episode, you know, we're going to be doing a lot of updates to this house. We're going to be building a house in Samar. Hopefully we can actually get around and show you more of the Philippines. But at the same time, we see everybody's already covering most of the Philippines, and they keep showing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. It's like, do we really want to cover exactly the same thing? And everybody's like, but do the same topic, and that's how you'll get, you know, into the system more. Cover the same thing. Look at what's trending. But if somebody's already doing it, why do it? Shouldn't we all be covering different things, showing different styles of life, not the same thing over and over? I mean, that's just my thought.
Mm-hmm.
But,
As long as we're happy and,
yeah.
we're enjoying it.
The other reason for this whole YouTube was, you know, my family's still in America, you know? I'm not a only kid to, you know, dead parents, you know? A lot of foreigners that come over here, they don't have siblings. They don't have parents alive anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So they have nobody connected to them back in America. I do. You know, I've got, I already forgot, 3 siblings. You know, I've got my mom and I've got other family members there. And this basically was a way for them to keep up with us. Now, of course, not many of them are watching. I have issues with you guys if you ever see this one. They could be helping. Could be using some comments from my family, some thumbs up. You know,
Please.
her family helps more. a lovely no-name sister, you know, that helps us out a lot. Nephews. The sister that you saw doing all the construction with our tire construction company.
That's our number one fun
Mm-hmm.
and support.
Yep. We love some wet. She's a great cook too, guys. But I wish she would teach you how to cook. But I mean, the Philippines is a beautiful place. It's a great place for a vacation, honestly. Take a vacation somewhere before you think you're going to live there. Don't just jump up and move, you know, especially if you're older. If you have certain needs, you know, physically, emotionally, certain things can be triggers for other people. Not everybody can take loud noises. Mufflers don't really exist here in a lot of places. So if you can't stand loud vehicles, isn't really always the greatest place for you. Now you can get out into the country or province sometimes and get quiet areas. But as more and more foreigners come, more and more country places will become more and more developed, which means more and more people moving there. So don't expect everything's going to be quiet forever. I mean, the land that we're on right now, which is probably a good, what do you think, 500 homes here?
No, more than.
More than that, was a rice field.
Before.
We're on top of a rice field. You know, there was
But now-
nothing out here, I want to say probably 10 years ago. There was probably nothing where we were. And now there's over 500 homes here,
More than that.
you know?
Thousands.
And there's probably 20 subdivisions like this one in 20 miles. And you'll see whole subdivisions, you know, with nobody living in them. Because they're not sold. The developers just go ahead and punch out houses and punch out houses and punch out houses. Just because they get 20% of it sold, they'll put out all of them and build every single house. And now they're just left empty. And then you have to hope that somebody will take care of the grass and everything else there until it's developed enough for people to come in and take over it. And that's the other thing. With the Pag-ibig here, people don't always have to have a huge down payment in order to get their government house. They can pay monthly on their down payment in order to get their loan. So some of these houses will sit empty years before the person's even allowed to move in. So people will work and work and work with these homes being their retirement homes, which is what was going to happen with her, because she bought before me. She was going to have to finish out her work life before she could ever move in here,
Yes.
because it's too far. It was way far from her job. It took her, what, 2 hours to get to work from here?
Yeah, if it's not
When we
really
tried.
traffic, yeah.
Yeah, when there's not traffic. How about that one, guys?
Actually, it's 1 hour if not really traffic. But if it's traffic, 2 to 3 hours.
But that was with, you would walk for what, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
And then you would take a trike, and then you would take a bus.
From here?
Yeah. Going through here, what all did you do? How was your trip?
Okay. Trike, going to highway.
Okay.
And then
It's
bus.
like 5 minutes.
And then bus, going to the terminal.
Okay, to the terminal takes how long?
Then it's like 1 hour, 2
Okay.
hours, like that.
Okay, and then from the terminal?
And then jeep or bus again, going to my work.
And that would take you how long?
Maybe 30 minutes.
Another 30 minutes, so
to 1
it's
hour.
another hour and a half
Mhm.
on public transportation.
Yeah.
And then
So-
I can honestly attest that several times, you know, the buses weren't running right or whatever, and she would tell me she's just gonna walk it, you know. And then I find out the only thing she ate was an apple and crackers for the day. You know? That's your standard person here. They will
If
live off
you're-
the bare
no,
minimum.
If you're, it's not like that. If you're living alone normally, you don't have the appetite to
Yeah.
eat, you know.
That's what I'm saying. That's your standard, like, call center worker, you know? They're saving every penny for that future retirement house so that they can retire in 15 years and have their home and live there. That's what these houses are for. Because there's a lot of people from the call center that live here. Because these places will go to the call center and have like a sale day or whatever, you know? Kind of like in the call centers in America, we'd have like Sam's or Costco come there and offer memberships. Or some places, you know, like Sprint or AT&T would go and offer you discounts on phones. You know, some places would offer vacations. They would come into your office, give you this plan, this organized group, and maybe a presentation. That's what the government loans do here. That's what I'm saying. Here, it's government loans. There, it's just the small stuff. You know, phone company or, you know, sale membership. It's not a house company. So, unless it's some major corporation like Google or something, I don't know. But I mean, I never saw it when I worked at any of the airlines. I never saw it when I worked with McDonald's. I never saw it, you know, when I worked with Crown Plaza, Holiday Inn. I never saw it when I worked with other organizations, you know. Not like here, you know. And as long as you are a hard worker and dependable, this government will give them a loan for a house.
As long as you're qualified, their salary is enough.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If you're hardworking and dependable, you'll have a decent salary. Yeah. So that's really one of the things I think is awesome here. Now, one of the downsides is only a Filipino can own land. You must be a citizen to own dirt. You can own a structure on dirt and either have somebody else own the dirt or you can lease the dirt for 50 years with contract renewals set into that. And that's how a lot of foreigners get around it. They will get the dirt put in their wife's name or girlfriend's name and then have them sign a contract that, okay, I'm leasing this land for $1 for 50 years. And I have unlimited contract renewal options. And that's how they get around with not owning the dirt. Now, if you don't depend on Social Security, disability, anything like that, you could always become a Philippine citizen and own dirt. But only natural-born Filipinos can be dual citizens. That means anybody coming into this country must give up their original citizenship to be a citizen here. You can be a resident, just not a citizen, which is what we're working on, is my residency. I will not give up my citizenship to America. But she can be a dual citizen because she's natural born. You know, it kind of sucks for me, but I kind of like that rule. You know?
Like the other countries.
I think certain countries should do things better for their natural born people. People can hate me for it, you can like me for it. I've got family that is, you know, native to America. You know, and that whole scenario of the way that they have been treated throughout history is ridiculous, and it still pisses me off that it's still forgotten and ignored today more than anybody else. What has happened to them. You know, I have family, me personally, that's still a percentage native, like most Americans are. You know, there's such mixed mutts in America that almost everybody's part native. But my sister-in-law is 100%. You know, my brother married into the family of natives. And, you know, the way they're treated and stuff like that is ridiculous and upsets me. And mostly because people don't know history. But we'll skip that. That's a whole different narrow topic. But I believe a country should have things for its native people. So allowing natives to own dirt, I like. Allowing natives special abilities, you know, I like it. As much as I love firearms, you know, I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment, right to carry, you know, that you should be able to have a firearm if you want one, and you're not a criminal or psychotic. Here, only Philippine citizens can own firearms and use them for defense, I think is how it goes. But only they can own them. I know that much. So unfortunately, I cannot own a firearm in the Philippines. She can, but I cannot. And I miss that, because I had several in my state of Arkansas. I miss them. Y'all better be taking care of them, family. But those are abilities that they keep to their own people, and I don't have a problem with that. I think it's a good thing. Just like I said before, I'm okay with a little bit of a white tax. I'm okay with a little bit of a foreigner upcharge, because of the fact that I'm not better than anybody else, but I'm financially better off than half of the Filipinos. I have to say, financially, you know. So, me paying a little bit extra to help somebody who's not as well off is fine. And by that, I mean, we're talking like, you're paying extra 10 cents, extra 20 cents American. You know, I'm not saying let somebody rip you off to where you're paying $20 for a $1 item. But just giving a little extra, you know, the 10 peso change, you know, that's 5 cents. Where that can be a lot to somebody. That could be their whole meal. I mean, I know people here that eat on 20, 30 pesos for the day. So, you giving somebody that extra 20 pesos could mean them eating a whole nother day. So quit being stingy if you have it. If you don't have money, don't give what you don't have. Never put yourself in a place where you become poor because you're helping others. That's just not smart, because then you become a dependent on the system too. That's not helping anybody. So, just trying to think what other topics we can cover, because like I said, we need some time in. We need some hours in. Hopefully let people watch these. Maybe somebody will pick it up. Fortunately, we only have a few viewers. I'm glad a couple of our subscribers stopped in. Of course, this was an unannounced live,
Yeah.
so I get it. But we still needed the time. Oh, there's a topic right there. Laundry. Most Filipinos hand wash their laundry here. About 10% still do it in the rivers.
If you live in the problem.
I mean, a lot of people have a plastic washing machine here, where it just washes it. It doesn't really strain it. It doesn't dry it. It doesn't wring it out. It just washes the clothing for them. And that's the most common. And then you have people with like the American size washers. And then you have people with the American size washer and dryers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have people like us who send our laundry out because it's cheap. Honestly, I love our laundry care people. They do an awesome job, and it's a really good price compared to what I'm used to. I can't say I've ever gone to a coin laundry in America cheaper than what they do all my laundry for here. Last time I remember, and maybe somebody will correct me in the comments, I doubt it though, the laundry was $1.50 per load to wash and $1.50 per load to dry.
Oh.
So to do one load of clothing, and there were smaller machines, like in Atlanta and stuff like that. Even Jonesboro had some, not Harrisburg, but Jonesboro had some coin laundry, and you paid $3 per small load. And our laundry that we just got back is like 2 loads. So that would have costed $6. That would have, the laundry we got back, do you remember how much that was?
Yeah, it's 330.
How much is it per kilo? I mean, how many kilos of laundry?
Maybe 10 kilos.
10 kilos. So we had 10 kilos of laundry over here. We had, what is it, 2 towels, 1 or 2 sets of sheets, some clothing for a week or two,
Yeah.
and it costed us 330 pesos. So we're looking at $6.60, where, like I said, that would have probably been $12 in America to do that load. Or, yeah, because it's about, what is it, $3, No, it would have been $6 in America, which is 1,200 pesos for that. Because we got at least 2 loads of laundry here. Even more if you want to separate. But like I said, there per load, wash and dry, is $3.
Mm-hmm.
2 loads, that's $6.
Yeah.
That's 1,200 pesos about on a 50 peso per dollar ratio. And they pick it up from my house. They drop it off at my house.
It's including with the fabric.
Yeah, I mean, they wash it, they dry
No,
it, it's got fabric
yours.
softener.
In America.
No.
Okay.
The
But
machines,
this one-
you have to buy your own soap, you have to buy your own fabric softener,
Mm-hmm.
and bring it with you. And then you still pay $6
Yeah.
to wash it.
But this.
Not to mention the price of soap, fabric softener. And then you have to sit there, because if you walk away, somebody's going to steal your clothing. I don't have to worry about that here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they deliver it right to my door.
And pick up.
And even in province areas, you can find somebody that does laundry.
Mm-hmm.
You may have to take it down the street a little bit, and they don't come and get it. But I bet you 10 to 1, if you told most of those people, I'll give you an extra 50 pesos to bring me my laundry, they'll bring you your laundry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they will do the extra step for a little bit of extra. You can get things done here easy. Manual labor is easy to get done here. There's always people looking for work that will work hard. They will do what you tell them as long as you are telling them what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be afraid to say, I'm sorry, but that's not how I want it done.
And treat
Please
them-
do it my way. Don't be rude. Don't be
Yeah.
a dick about it. Don't be a snob
Mm-hmm.
just because people don't know how to do what you think you know how in your country. Things are done differently everywhere.
We're willing to learn.
Yeah, I mean, people are always learning. Just be polite. Say, can you do it this way instead? 90% of the time, they'll go, okay, po. And po and ate are almost like using ma'am and sir in most countries. So if you hear somebody call you po, it's just like them saying sir or ma'am. Po can be used for male or female.
Ate and kuya.
Yeah. And kuya and ate, that's just a way of saying ma'am, sir, Mr., Mrs., you know? Those are good words. Don't get offended. Even if you're from America or another country and somebody calls you Joe and you're a man, don't be stupid and get offended by it. They're just referencing, you know, a G.I. Joe, and we don't mean the cartoon.
It's the way of their
You know, The
conversation.
majority of foreigners in the Philippines were military. Gummy bears. We love them. I spend $5 for 2.5 kilos. About once a month. I love my gummy bears. Helps control your appetite. You chew on a fruit, you chew. Alright, quit the crinkle. Just put it up now. Set it down. Thank you, love. So much noise. I like gummies because it gives my mouth something to chew on, so I'm not actually eating anything. Yes, it's a little bit of sugar, but oh well. In life, everything is moderation. So. But, as far as the Joe thing, people have to remember that 90% of the foreigners that came here, all the way up until probably the 90s, were all military. So they were all GIs. And instead of learning everybody's name and saying, hey buddy, or something pal, or bro, or dude, whatever your area says, they said, hey Joe. That's all it means. It's not insulting, it's not disrespectful. It's just the fact that they were used to every foreigner being a GI. And instead of saying, hi GI, they said Joe. So when you say somebody say, hi Joe, wait. It don't matter if you're from America or not. Just wait back, say hi, because they're just trying to be friendly. And that might be one of the 2 English words they know. But they still want to be nice and friendly. Because you may be the first foreigner they've seen, depending where you come from, in person. Don't act like it's rare, because when I went to Samara, I was the first foreigner some of them seen.
In our
Especially
area.
our little child friend who cried every time she saw this white person.
In our area. In our barangay.
Right. But
But
that's
not-
just proving it's possible to still go places where they've never met a foreigner. Or they've never spoke to a foreigner. And they just wanted to say hi. Especially if you're one of these people like us that's walking around with a camera.
Yeah.
People love to smile for the camera here. They love to wave. They like to be on the camera in the hopes that they or their friends will see them on it. Because like I said, the Philippines uses more social media than any other country. So they're bound to see themselves. Especially if anything goes viral or global or whatever. I mean, of course not on here they won't. Because none of y'all are giving us thumbs up or watching right now. But in general, they'll wait. This is the most photobombing place I have ever seen. Everybody will jump in on it. From children to cops. They all wave, say hi, and everything else. So, it's just different customs, different things. If you go to another country, whether it's the Philippines or anywhere else, be open to the customs or keep your butt at home. If you can't be friendly to another person's culture, don't leave your own. Because you don't need to. If you're somebody who's stuck up and wants every country to be the way yours is, don't leave your country. Don't be so arrogant that you think you're going to change some other country. Because honestly, most of y'all can't do it. Especially anybody watching our channel. Ain't exactly Trump, people. And even he couldn't change his own country. So you're not going to change country. You're not going to change the people. You can try to help and better the world, which is something you should strive to every day anyways. Every one of us should always try to make the world a little bit better place. Either through positive attitude or helping somebody. And none of us are perfect. Even I have attitude issues and stuff like that. But I try. I try really hard to be a positive person and a positive influence with what I do.
He's very mean to me.
She gets to put up with all of it. But then again, we barely leave the house, so it's her fault.
There we go.
But hopefully we'll go out, we'll see more things. Because crazy enough, I've yet to see a Philippine beach in person. Mainly because we are kind of homebodies. Like I said, I am actually disabled. I do live with a lot of pain. So I don't go out and do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And she's so worried about me that we do even less because of that.
Exactly.
You know, she thinks I'm going to break like a fragile egg or something like that. When it's not that bad.
Especially we don't have a car.
Yeah.
So it's not really easy.
We don't have a vehicle, so anywhere we go, we have to pay to go.
Yeah.
But then again, we don't have a car payment. We don't have car insurance. We don't have car upkeep. So,
It's like when we go to the supermarket, we spend 1,000 pesos for our fare.
yeah, that's true. We go to the supermarkets, we spend 1,000 pesos round trip for Grab, which is about $20.
And it's
And
so
once
near.
again, like I say though, in America, how many people can go very far in a taxi for 20 bucks? You know you ain't calling Uber for $20. Not round trip anywhere. Especially not in locations like Arkansas. So, I don't mind once a month paying $20
Yeah.
instead of having to own a car and harbor it out here.
Or, you know, going somewhere,
Yeah.
eat somewhere.
So it's not that big of an issue. And that's why we go shopping once a month. We have a refrigerator. We have a freezer. I know how to preserve food. I know how to can. I have a vacuum sealer, albeit not a great one. You know, I know how to make my own hamburger meats and stuff like that, and we might get into that a little bit later. Um, so for me, buying a month food is not an issue. So that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going out a bunch of times doing a month,
Yeah.
we go out once a month, get our food, come back home,
Or if we
and
really
do stuff here.
if we really need something, I'm the one who will like.
Yeah, I mean, if there's just one other item we need, we do have Sorry stores in the neighborhood. If it's something small we need, like one egg, we can buy one egg from our nice Sorry store over here. Otherwise, she'll run up to the store with just a trike or something.
Yeah.
Or we
It's
have
cheaper.
really good set of friends that when they're out, they always go, hey, you need anything while we're out? And we try to ask them the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we take care of each other like that. And they'll pick something up for us or something like that. You know, they just were wonderful. And we couldn't find my medication anywhere around here. And they were going, you know, for a birthday party. And on their way back, on a 2-hour ride, stopped and got my medication for me. They picked up my pain pills for me, which has made a world of a difference in my attitude, let me tell you people. If you're dependent on medication and you don't have it, your attitude changes greatly. But it's good to have friends, and it's good to have people like them in your life, so that way if you do need something, they just pop out and get it, you know? I know I could depend on them if we needed something, or having family around. It's the old community I remember when I was a kid. Because I remember when I was a child, long time ago, you could depend on your neighbor. You could ask your neighbor for cheese. You could ask your neighbor for some milk, you know, sugar, to watch your kids, to watch your dog, you know? Nowadays, most people don't know their neighbor's name in America. You know, they've got $2 million homes and don't know who lives next to them. Whereas here, you know, I could probably depend on almost any one of the neighbors here. My packages, I have several neighbors right here that will pick up my packages. Some of them, even if, and here's the thing, Philippines still does COD, people. No longer in America does almost any delivery service do cash on delivery anymore because they can't trust anybody. But in the Philippines, they'll do COD. My neighbors will pay the COD bill and vice versa, you know, because they know they'll get it back. I don't have to worry about my stuff, you know. Now, that doesn't mean we're crime-free. We still have crime in the area. We still have issues. We have CCTV camera. We have got locks on all our doors. We have security bars on our windows. But we didn't put security bars. That's kind of a standard in the Philippines, just an added safety. They're built into the house. The security bars are built into most of the windows here. It's part of the frame. But I mean, we've got locks on our doors, we've got camera outside, you know, motion tracking, night vision, as well as several of our neighbors.
And the marites.
Yeah. The gossip. The gossip lives quick and fast and constantly. So if somebody does something outside, this person's going to let this person know, and that person know, and that person know, and everybody's going to know. Especially in a neighborhood like ours.
That's our number one CCTV. The real CCTV.
And then you got your Facebook communities.
Yeah.
Our neighborhood has a community where, you know, if something's happening, you can put it on our community and everybody is going to know. And honestly, a lot of people here fear the gossip more than they do fines or being arrested. They would rather, you know, stop doing something because somebody's going to gossip about them than worry about getting a ticket. They worry about the gossip. It's a big thing here because it is still an Asian country where your reputation means a lot. So gossip about you can really hurt your reputation, which hurts your honor and vice versa. So that's a big deal here.
But us, we don't care.
I mean, as long as I do what's right, as long as you do what's right, that's what matters. I don't care what you say about me, especially if you're a person who doesn't do something correctly. I don't care what criminals say about me.
You guys were friendly people, huh? We're not really fighting now.
She's defending people because there is some chismis about us, or gossip, because we ask people to follow the rules. And some people don't want to follow the rules. So they would rather make up effects about how we're terrible and mean, and we want to change the community like we're some country club living people. How dare we? But honestly, follow the rules, we follow the rules, we all get along. You don't
Just
follow the
follow.
rules, we'll let you know, hey, that's not the rule.
We're just following the rules here. So
We're not the type, we're not going to come banging on the door and screaming and yelling.
we're not like that.
We use ma'am, sir, please, thank you. And that's the way you should be. In any country you go to, be polite. Like I said, always try to make it better.
That's why our neighbor, they cannot yell us because we're not doing that to them also.
Well, they can, but they don't.
Yeah.
See, they're defensive. They're always worried about their honor, Filipinos are. Even now, we're just talking to you on the camera. Nothing. Nobody even watching. She's still defensive. Filipinos are very defensive about their honor and chismis and gossip. So that is one thing that keeps a lot of people in line because they worry about things being said about them. Now, of course, you still get the people from out of the neighborhood that will do things illegal, crimes. But you still have your, your at-home mothers and grandmothers and retired dads and grandpas that are always looking out the window. The old cat lady who has nothing better to do besides sit at the end of the block and just stare and report everything to everybody because she wants the latest gossip before anybody else. There's always that type of person here, even at nighttime.
Yeah.
So that's part of security.
You're the part of the security.
Oh, I've got no problem dropping the drone up to see what's going on.
Because they're not really sleeping at night.
Well, I can't sleep at night because of some of the noise that's going on. I'm one of those people who kind of needs quiet and darkness to sleep, which is why, the Philippines wasn't the greatest option. But, I was living right next to a highway in Arkansas anyway, so I kept getting woke up by passing cars. And a train, oh my goodness, that train. Oh, I still have nightmares. But see, if people would follow the rules, my community would be a whole lot quieter too. Because there's that one foul issue. Which, anybody sees if it has a foul in the neighborhood, I don't care because you're breaking the rule. Read your contract. It's that simple. It specifically states no foul. And just for anybody who doesn't know, fowl means bird. Chickens are birds. Roosters are birds.
Ducks. Yeah.
Because this place was sold to her as an upscale country club style community for those in other countries that want to know what kind of community we're supposed to move into. This was supposed to be like a country club where it was supposed to be quiet, peaceful, clean, organized. Not so much. But there are several people in the community that are trying to make it better. There really are. It's not like we're the only people begging people to follow the rules. Our community page is filled with tons of people who are asking for better lives because they know they deserve it. Everybody deserves a good, decent life.
That's why they acquired the house because they want a better life.
People buy homes because they want a good life. They're not buying it because they want to be crack dealers. Otherwise they would have stayed in the ghetto inside of an apartment living with 20 other people. They wanted a better life. They wanted their own peace. They just forget that sometimes when they get the freedom to do what they want. So they forget why they wanted to be better in the first place. And just because you're used to doing something all your life doesn't make it right. doesn't make it okay. Just because karaoke was okay 24 hours a day, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, doesn't mean it is anymore, especially when you're butt to elbow on houses. Because these things are stacked right next to each other, front to back, side to side.
Like now, you can hear the dog. It's barking.
Yeah. But you've got dogs, you've got roosters, you've got people that decide to rev their motorcycles in the middle of the night or in the morning. You've got people that don't use mufflers. People that think that the little alleyway that is in between our houses is a racetrack. You know, then you've got the unskilled drivers with the reverse beeps that takes them half an hour to go 5 feet. These are the different things you're going to have to live with in the Philippines if you come to the Philippines. Either you have to ignore it, be annoyed and be unhappy, move if you can. That's another issue. We just paused out because the internet probably dropped for a second and got a little loose. Internet here is not the best either. You can get some strong internet, but it's not always guaranteed. Also, there's a lot of blackouts, brownouts, whatever they want to call them. There's a lot of power failures. There's a lot of intentional power outages that are not notified to the public. So they'll cut everybody out for 5-10 minutes and nobody knew why or how. And even though the power company knew weeks in advance they were going to do it every night. You got places like ours where they'll cut the water off at 10 o'clock at night. You know, when it starts to get dry out.
We survive for that.
Yeah, I mean, these are all things, like I say, what can you live with? You have to make sure that you can live happy. Because if you're miserable, what was the point in moving? Just finding a companion is not the same as being happy. Now, you may not have been able to move that companion to where you live, but maybe it's not the right companion for you. Because society throws around the word of love a lot. But it's still about your searching before you got to love. So you had to make a decision, can I live with this area? Can I live with this kind of person? Before you started falling in love. Because I don't think, I'd probably get in trouble. Love at first sight doesn't exist. Otherwise you're really shallow. If you're judging,
what does it mean?
that means the moment you see somebody you know you're in love. If so, then you're shallow, because you're just judging the person based on their looks. Honestly. If you're in love with somebody the moment you see them, you're just in love with the way they look. You don't know that person. You haven't heard that person speak even yet. Voices make a big difference in people's lives too. Some people can handle the voices, some can't. My tail's hurting a lot. But,
Yeah, you need to know.
yeah, I know. Also, furniture in the Philippines is built for smaller people. So a lot of things will be thinner and weaker, less cushion. Everything, cost is relative in the Philippines. If you want it, you can get it. It's just a matter of how much you're going to pay. That's all there is to it. Otherwise, you can get pretty much anything you want here. Legal and illegal almost. But I mean, there's a lot of lifestyle benefits that you can get that are cheap that make you happy if you can live with some of the other things. I mean, if you're a person that likes little comforts, if you want a daily massage, it's like $3, $4 for a massage. Sometimes cheaper if you get organized rate, you know. You can get somebody to do your laundry for you. You can get a lower priced maid to clean your house. You can get a cook. You can buy your food all the time out. You know, you can get groceries delivered. I drink a ton of soda. So I get 36 to 48 bottles of soda delivered to my house. So I don't have to carry them. And it's just that simple. It's something I want, I pay for it. Everything is, you know,
everything is about money.
compromise. How much money do you want to pay for your happiness? How much does your happiness cost? How much can you live with? How much can you live without? So when you keep watching these videos of people going, well, what's our budget for the month? That changes in every single city, every single town. Each barangay costs different. Everybody's
That's gonna
food
be
tastes
our
different.
next step.
What, our bills for the month? Ah, I don't think anybody cares about what we're paying. Because nobody's going to live in the same city as us. Nobody's going to have the same deal that you got for this house. You know, finding a house like this for 5,000 pesos a month is not easy. Now, there are some for rent in the area. And you can do that. But that's still not buying it. You're still renting. And like anything, get contracts. The Philippines does have good legal systems, so get it all in writing. Trust the writing. Whether it's relationships, business, rentals, cars, it all comes down to paperwork and writing.
I think it's a briquette.
Mm-hmm. So, trying to think. I really think that's a lot of what we were talking about in the Philippines, things like that. We've got food covered. We've got, medicine covered.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a doctor here. That's not too hard.
But
if you've got the money, you can go to
But
hospitals.
the e-prescription now is not allowed.
Yeah.
They stopped the e-prescription.
That's one thing that's made my life a little harder, is I was using an online doctor in the Philippines, and I was getting my prescriptions emailed to me because my doctor is nowhere close to me. Because I require pain management, which are opioids, morphine, for all my nerve damage, I have to have a special doctor to write the prescription. The Philippines only allows so many of those doctors to exist. So they are scattered throughout, 7,000 islands? On 7,000 islands, there can only be so many places. So my doctor is a long ways away from us. It was easier for me to do it online, so I got e-prescription. Well, COVID allowed them to do e-prescriptions, and I was able to take my prescription to the store and get the medicine filled if it was in stock. Remember, that's a big issue, if it's in stock. Just because they have it today doesn't mean they'll have it tomorrow or next week or next month.
Even your Nexium na.
Yeah. When we bought my pain patches, they were the only ones in the whole city of Tacloban, which is a major metropolis. And they've been sitting there forever, and they were issued there, and then they just didn't get any more the next month and a half. So I still went without. I'm still without those. So I still deal with added pain and stuff like that because I don't have the right medication. But just because they have that medicine today doesn't mean they will tomorrow or next month or 2 months from now. Because it's not always in stock. Even my doctor doesn't know what to write sometimes on the strength or prescriptions because he doesn't know where it is. Even the doctors don't know what is in stock where. So it's not like they can just say, okay, we'll go to this place and get it, or go to that place.
The Mercury will help you.
Most of the Mercury stores will look it up for you, but it's not always accurate either. It's based on inventory and how far away it is. And that's when, again, you've got to travel to that place to get some of that stuff. Now, there are lesser medications that you can get from, like TGP, which is
the generic
pharmacy. And that's where you'll get things
Tramadol?
like Tramadol. This is standard 50 milligram Tramadol, which is 100 capsules for 400 pesos, $8. It's something, that I would take, and I've been on it for almost, last 15 years, so it's almost non-effective for me. I can pop that as easy as I can, these gummy bears. But something like that, if it's a low-grade item, you can get there. That'll be all over. Still, subject to supply. There's been times that they've been out of that, or they've had a different brand of it, a different, what's it called? Whoever makes it, you know? Sometimes they have a different person that's making it, so they'll run that one. It depends whether you have to have a name brand or generic, because some generic medications don't have the same ratio of additive medication items that a name brand will. My Nexium, I cannot do generics of Nexium because they don't work as well. It seems like the name brand of Nexium is the only thing that works for my gas issue. Otherwise, I'm burning my throat all day and night and choking and a lot of pain there. People with that type of stomach issues will understand. So I have to have actual Nexium. That's what works for me. So we have to look for that a little harder. Whereas they actually have, at the generic place, another brand. Cheaper. But none of your insurance is going to work here, so make sure you can pay it. You have to pay it all cash. You know, some places will take credit card, but you're still paying out of your pocket. Most things are out of pocket here. Albeit, the out of pocket here is still a lot of times cheaper than a copay in other countries. Like when I see a doctor, you know, the copay in America was more than my whole doctor visit here. And you're not paying for an insurance plan. So it really just depends what you need. You know, stuff, dentistry. You know, my wife, there's a video of it, had one of her teeth removed. And I think we paid what?
$1,000.
Yeah, we paid like $20 to $40 for a tooth extraction.
Yeah.
My copay in America was more than $40 for a tooth extraction. And that didn't include any medication or anything else. And she got in like this, got out like that. I mean, we were home within an hour or so. And she was still loopy as could be. Watch the video. But it was simple. And they do everything here. I mean, you can get cosmetic surgery done if you really want to. All kinds of medical procedures. It's just a matter of how much money you have. What you want done. You know, there's one person we watched that just recently got a nose job, even though she kind of skipped over the subject. Jab, jab, jab. But I mean, the Philippines is a beautiful place. There are other beautiful countries out there as well. Mainly, like I say, visit a place before you do anything stupid. Too many people just jump and think, well, everybody else is happy there, I should be able to be happy there too. That's not always the case. You know, there's issues everywhere. It's a matter of what you can live with, and you should always try it first. Get a ticket, come here, visit. It's not that expensive to visit here. It's not that expensive to, you know, get a round trip versus stopping your whole life, selling your house, you know, upsetting family that you'll never speak to again, just to come here and realize you can't marry the woman because she's already married. These are scenarios we have seen on YouTube. You know, people are homeless now and have no way to get back to America or Germany or Ukraine or wherever it is they're from, because they gave up their life for who they thought was the love of their life, because a younger woman, pretty, was batting her eyelashes. You know, even though she might care about him, she may have already been married. And that means she can't get unmarried. It's unless you got a lot of money, you can get annulments in the Philippines. But they take a long time and cost a lot of money. And even then, they're not guaranteed. And you would still have to almost be here living with somebody, which is illegal, because the government's not going to believe that you're not having sexual relations if you're cohabitating. They're just not going to buy that. And it is a Catholic country, so they do have huge issues and laws against, I said it earlier, I'm sorry, I'm getting to the point where my brain's not working again.
The what?
The pain when you with somebody who's married.
Annulment?
No. The crime.
Adultery?
Yes, adultery. There's huge adultery laws here, and major fines and imprisonment
Yeah.
for committing adultery. So you better make real sure that that woman isn't married, or man, whoever you like to be with, whatever your case, is not married. And here's the thing. They can easily get a report here that says their status. And before you get married in the Philippines, you have to have, what's that called again?
The Senomar.
Senomar.
The certificate.
And
No, it's...
If a companion, male or female, cares about you, and you ask them to get a Senomar, and they won't, either they don't love you, they don't care enough about your opinion, or they're married. Either way, those are all strikes. A person who cares about you will get a Senomar, will get a prenup. If they truly care, they will do what they need to do to be with you. Otherwise, they don't. Now, I'm not saying that they don't care at all, but they still have an ulterior motive. And I mean, you can be with somebody and there's different ways, different loves, different cares, different emotions. It doesn't mean a person only wants your money. You know, that person may just want companionship, and not necessarily sexual companionship. You know, I've easily said women here care less about looks and more about the emotional and physical safety. They want to feel like they're not going to be hurt emotionally or physically. And that matters to them more than if you have a six-pack, hair on your head, or teeth in your mouth. You know? Or if you're disabled or fat. You know? That doesn't matter as much here. And there's other countries where it's the same thing. It's just places like America, where it's gotten so bad that people seem to think that looks matter more than if a person's going to actually care for you. You know, if that person can make you happy, if that person can make you feel comfortable at night. They'd rather know that you've got hair on your head, all your teeth, and a six-pack. You know? And I don't know how we ever got that way. Because it wasn't always that way.
Yeah.
We all got so vain that appearance mattered more than almost anything else. And now it's money, appearance, and everything else. Because despite what any woman in America says, and there's exceptions to every rule, that people will claim that a woman here is with you because she wants your money, because she doesn't want to be homeless, because she wants to have a okay house, not even necessarily rich. But you tell me how many women in America would be with you if you ain't got a job, if you broke. Most women will tell you, sorry, if you don't make as much money as me, I don't want to be with you. You're a loser. So how is that any different? Why, in a world today, can't we just agree that we all have different reasons for why we like somebody? That's all that matters. If those two people are happy, mind your own business, let them be happy.
Contented.
Yeah. We all have different reasons. And I mean, it don't matter whether you're giving somebody $20 or taking them to a $50 movie and a $100 dinner. You know, what's the difference? Why are we putting labels on things like that instead of just caring about, are you happy? Is she happy? Is he happy? Are they happy? That's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
But it still comes down to, can you live there? And that means taking care of yourself first. Can you live somewhere on your own without that person. That's what you need to think of before you start finding a companion somewhere. My opinion. And opinions are like buttholes, everybody's got one. And they all stink. So, guess that's about it for today. We've already wasted 2 hours of nobody's time.
Boy.
Thank you for 2 subscribers that popped in. Technically 3. Because there was another pretty girl that popped in that is technically related to us. But we had 2 people that popped in and said hello that were not related to us. So we thank you to those guys.
Thank you.
Anyways, we'll go and shut up for now. I mean, if you guys want us to discuss anything else, we're pretty much open books. Besides telling you our sexual positions, well, for that you better be a member. We'll pretty much talk about anything. And we'll talk and talk, even though she pretends not to get on here. And she argues with me and fights me about going live and doing this and doing that. She doesn't mind talking to the camera either. And if everybody wants to see more of these, let us know. We can actually start scheduling them. Either way, we need to put in more time. And if anybody's got ideas of giveaways or ways to increase our population, our numbers, stuff like that, let us know. All except the fact we're not going to buy members. I'm not going to do that. I see so many people posting to me, hey, want to buy our hours? Hire me and I'll get you more subscribers because we're going to pay people to just subscribe to you. We're not doing that because that's illegal.
Really?
Yeah, it's illegal in YouTube terms.
Oh.
We're not doing it. But anything else besides doing the same thing everybody else does? I don't want to keep going to the same mall, the same, location everybody does, talking about the same topic everybody does. But we are going to live our life, which will include construction. So that will be something we cover. Anything else? Let us know. I know maybe somebody out in the world will see this that'll like it. Let us know. If there's something you want to see in the Philippines, we've got time. Honestly.
Yes.
If you guys want us to go pick up something and show a location that nobody else is showing, let us know. Honestly. We could just put random vacations on there if we wanted. I know.
We need it sponsored.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. But I mean,
or invite.
We don't work. As long as we have my medication, we're okay for the most part.
Yeah.
We could always randomly select places on Philippine Airlines. They do that to anywhere thing when you book a vacation based on what's cheapest.
Okay.
You do like the $12 vacation. You don't know what you're going until you buy it. So if you guys want to see us try that or some other topic, or like I said, if there's a place you want us to look at, let us know. Or a topic you want covered that other people don't cover.
Invite us to your place.
Yeah, there you go. We'll visit, we'll come around. We've got nothing but time. Because she retired early. And I'm just ugly. But anyways, that's it for now.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else. We've already wasted 2 hours and 13 minutes of the computer's time, of which I'm sure almost nobody's going to watch or visit this anyways. So, that's just more hours under our belt. Maybe somebody will watch it. Maybe somebody will let it play while they're sleeping.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they like the sound of our voice. I don't know, but I mean, that's kind of our story. There's nothing really extravagant. I mean,
yeah.
We don't have any major recordings of me coming from the airport because somebody didn't record it. And we're not exciting people. We're not going to be jumping off bridges probably. We don't have a lot of money, so we're not building anything elaborate. Any of our construction done is going to be done cheap. Mostly by me.
And me.
Yeah, she's been doing really great at construction. You guys watch those videos. I'm really proud of her. And her sisters. Done more than most of the men I know around here. But just let us know. I mean, we've got nothing else to do. We're always looking for ideas. But
So.
that's about all we can think of.
Okay.
Anyways, like I said,
Good night.
look before you leap and have fun. Don't assume everybody's being honest. Otherwise than that, all I have to say is bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night, sweetheart.
Good
Well,
morning.
it's time to go.
Bye-bye.
Oh, do, do,
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.